I'm Anne.
And I'm Monica.
And this is the episode where we're back from hiatus.
Yay!
Yay!
We're back in the studio, but not really the studio.
Mm-hmm. AKA our bedrooms, basically. So.
Our respective bedrooms.
Yeah. We're not getting out of this.
No. Hopefully we can do an actual in-person episode.
I know,
again. So it won't be any different for the people listening, though. It'll sound the exact same, but for us, it's the experience.
It'll be spicier. I feel like the jokes will bounce off.
I feel like the jokes bounce a little bit better when we're in person, and but hopefully that will be soon. We're both vaccinated, so maybe that'll be soon.
Well, dose one vaccinated.
My dose 2. Wait, when's your dose 2? Mine's September 5th.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. September 3rd.
So maybe by then we'll have our first in-person episode.
I heard that you are like messed up for 3 days, like fever and stuff. So definitely not right after.
Okay, that. Not that exact day.
Yeah,
but
we might even
soon.
have to take a hiatus that week if it's one of the episode weeks.
No, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah,
but
we'll be good.
Hopefully we can have an in-person episode too. But other than that, we are back from our brief hiatus where we were both finishing school. So
exams. But
we're back and better than ever. We have some exciting things planned.
Yes, we do. Oh my gosh.
For season 2, I guess.
I love that. Yeah, exactly.
Season 2 of the Flick Chicks. And
y'all
so what are we doing today, Anne?
We are doing a roasting movies by the fire, if you can tell by the title. And we're going to be... It's not really a roast, guys. We all know it's just like a review, but
it's just a review. But this is the name of our series. What can we say?
It's hilarious. We love it. We're gonna be reviewing Love and Monsters, which was I'm not exactly sure if it was a Netflix original movie or if it's just a movie that was supposed to be released in theaters and had to be put on Netflix because I couldn't really get the consensus online.
Yeah, so, I'm not sure either because Netflix sometimes will like not be involved with the movie making. But then they'll like buy it at the end. Like that's what happened To All the Boys. I learned this like last week. I was watching a video and like To All the Boys wasn't a Netflix original. Like they were just making the movie, and then when the movie was done, Netflix came in and like bought it.
Really? Oh my goodness! I
didn't
thought
know
it was
that.
like late. I thought it was like during filming though. I didn't think it was that late in the game.
I was watching or I don't know. It was either during filming or it was after. Like they had already basically been making the movie. Like it's not like Netflix didn't commission this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like regardless, the movie was happening. And they were gonna do it somewhere.
I learned that the other day. I was watching a YouTube video with like Jenny Han and Lee Bardugo, who's a different author, and like they were just talking about how their things got adapted. And she was like, "Oh yeah, like Netflix wasn't even involved in the first like movie. It was we just made the movie, and then Netflix came in and was like,
interesting."
Hey. I don't think Love and Monsters is a Netflix movie. It said it was Paramount Pictures, and I'm assuming they just had a deal with Netflix to release it.
That's what I got to because you know what's weird though. I swear in the trailer it said like Duffer Brothers, like, but you know what? I think it was they were trying to say they're not anywhere. I think they were trying to say from the people who brought you Stranger Things, and it has like, do you know what I mean? Like Netflix did bring you Stranger Things, but actually has nothing to do with the movie. Yeah, because there's like scary monsters in it. They're like, oh, let's just like associate it with Stranger Things, and like I get it. Like it has the funny like, but crazy stuff is happening, but like. Funny stuff vibe, but I was like, y'all really tricked me with that one because I was looking for Duffer Brothers in the credits and I was like,
I did not watch the trailer, so I actually had no idea what the movie was even about.
But yeah, interesting. So you went in completely blind. Interesting.
Pretty much, yeah. I just knew it was about monsters. That's about it. Like I read the little Netflix tagline, but that gives you pretty much nothing. But yeah, it was supposed to be released like in theaters in February 2021, but then it got they optioned to just release it on Netflix instead, which makes me kind of sad because I feel like this is the type of movie that kind of deserved a little
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it could have done really well. Like I actually feel like this would have been cute. But okay, well we'll get into that. We'll get into it.
So we'll start off with our usual little quick recap.
Quick recap.
If you haven't watched the movie, if you haven't watched it, like you can either go watch it, or if you don't feel like watching it, then we'll give you a little.
We'll give you a recap, but obviously spoilers. But you should watch it still. I encourage you to do that. But
I think it's a pretty not to jump ahead, but like you should watch it.
Come on, just watch.
I feel like even if they listen to the whole plot, I feel like they should still go watch it.
Yeah, I don't think
like it's one of those where it doesn't really matter if you get spoiled. Like you can just Anyways, go ahead.
And I'll kind of like I'm not gonna necessarily spoil the quote unquote twist. I'll just kind of like vaguely go over it. It's not a twist though, but whatever. Okay, so the movie starts off 7 years post like apocalypse, where basically the world, humans, sent a huge rocket to stop an asteroid from destroying the Earth. And it did stop the asteroid, but it also released a bunch of dangerous chemicals everywhere that made all like normal living creatures into really dangerous human eating monsters. So like
cold-blooded creatures.
Cold-blooded.
So like
creatures.
reptiles and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So you got a goldfish and now it's got legs and it's trying to eat you, kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then you have 95% of the population of the world is gone due to this. So it's like a dead zone around everywhere. So our main character's name is Joel, played by Dylan O'Brien. And he was 17 when the apocalypse happened. So he's 24 because it's like 7 years later. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he lives in his colony and he's the only single person there. Like everyone is coupled up. They be doing it, you know, they have their fun.
And they live underground.
Yeah, they live underground. And he just feels out of place in his colony because he doesn't really help with the hunting. When they go for supplies, he just stays in the bunker. And he helps cook and and fix radios. And they never let him go out because he freezes whenever, like, he just can't. He's not useful. Let's just say.
Yeah, he gets really scared of the monsters.
So their colony gets breached, and one of the people in the camp actually ends up dying. And this kind of like sparked something in Joel to leave because about 2 weeks ago, he started talking to Amy, who was this girl that he was into as they were dating in the summer right before the apocalypse happened, like literally. And 2 weeks ago, he finally got contact with her on the radio, and he's been talking to her. And I guess I think his name was Connor, the guy who died in the colony. It just sparked something in him. Like, he's like, yo, I can't be living like this anymore. I have to, do something. So he decides to walk 85 miles, which is about like a 7-day trip, away from the bunker to go to the other colony, which is another bunker where Amy lives, right? But important, he doesn't tell her he coming. He's like, I'm gonna go find her. That's it, point period. And his whole colony's like, bro, this man's finna die, but they let him go. So then he goes and he meets long story, I'm gonna go a little faster through this part. He meets Boy, which is a dog that's just been living up there, and Boy helps him escape a monster. Then he falls into a monster's nest, and then he meets 2 survivors. I think it's Clive and Minnow. And basically they tell him that they're heading up north to the mountains because they heard that there's like it's safer there, and like monsters don't want to be around the cold, so it's like more livable. And they encourage Joel to come with them, but he's like, nah, I gotta go east to Amy's bunker. So they're like, okay, whatever, we'll walk the same way, and then whenever we have to split, we'll split. And he basically like learns all the trades and tricks about monsters from these 2 because they live on everything. They live on the surface, so they know everything. So this whole time Joel has been like drawing and documenting monsters in his book and writing their weaknesses, but they haven't really been accurate, obviously, because he's never been on the surface. But with Clive and Minnow, they really help him get to know the monsters, and he's basically an expert at this point now because of them. So they finally part their ways reluctantly, and Joel's kind of like thinking, maybe is this like a good idea, but he's like, I still gotta go see Amy, so he leaves. And with Boy goes with him, and then he takes I guess there's this part where this huge centipede is trying to eat Boy, basically, and Joel finally gets over his fear of like freezing, and he's like, I'm finna save this dog because I couldn't save my parents, parallel stuff like that. So then he saves his dog. They end up taking shelter in some like abandoned motel, whatever, and they meet Mavis, which is a type of robot that was made back before the apocalypse ended. So he's able to connect to the Mavis and connect his radio so he can talk to Amy. And basically when he talks to Amy, he kind of gets the idea that like he's kind of doubting himself even more because she says that these survivors, or this like yacht captain, whatever, found them and they're going to help them locate to a better position. And he's kind of thinking like, oh, maybe this is not a good idea to go to Amy because she like might hate that like she might not be interested in the fact that I came. Like it might not actually turn out that good. But long story short, he's still going because like, bro, he's like 70%.
He's already this far.
Yeah, I know. What you gonna do? What you finna do? So he goes, and he finally gets to the colony, and Amy is like happy to see him, but it's not like on some, oh, I'm so happy to see him like kissing thing. It's very much like, you're
I
here.
Can't believe you came.
Yeah, like shocked. Like, I can't believe you survived. Also, he had a fight with Boy, so Boy's not here right now.
He like yelled at him.
I know, so Boy is pretty upset. And he felt bad about it, but then he started hallucinating, so he's like, I can't. I can't right now. So yeah, Amy basically she lives in a colony where like there's a bunch of elderly people, like everyone's old, and she's like the one really like in charge, like taking care of everything that's happening. And what's his face? Joel, I was supposed to say Dylan. Joel kind of feels, he kind of like, I guess this is me interpreting, but he starts to see that like she kind of had it worse than him, because he always thought about how his colony, like he's the only one alone and there's nothing going on and there's like all these people coupled up. But then he realizes that like Amy has like no one her age, like literally, and she's still like making things happen, you know, versus
like she has to like take care of everyone, get food, do everything. Like,
so he's like, yo, this girl's a boss. So then he's reluctant to trust the captain, but Amy's like, bruh, they're trying to help us, so like this is what I gotta do for my colony, like also. And she reveals that she wasn't, basically she's not ecstatic to see him there. She's not really on this whole romance thing. She's like, I got an apocalypse to deal with. Someone who was close to her died recently too, so she's like, I'm still grieving that. Like she's like, and you didn't tell me that you were coming. And then he realizes like he should have asked her, like he literally just did this without asking her. So then there's a big betrayal by said character. I'll just say it, the captain. Basically they're like pirates, basically. We could say that they're pirates. They just go around to colonies and pretend that they're gonna help them, but end up stealing their food and then leaving them for dead. So they're trying to kill the whole colony, and then basically Joel is able to defeat not even defeat, because he was taught that you could see it in the creature's eyes if they're like a predator versus like if they're just a peaceful creature. So he was able to see that and help the whole colony. So he saves them from doom. And basically him and Amy kiss before he goes back to his colony, and he lets Amy know that there's like they should go up north to the mountain if they can, because that's where Minnow and Clive are going, and that's like better for humans and stuff. And basically he learns, or when he goes back to his colony, his whole family's like really happy to see him, and he's trying to lead them up north. And it ends on this whole thing of like him encouraging other colonies who are like underground and bunkers to, you know, go outside and like try to make it up north, because like even though they're in an apocalypse, they shouldn't settle. And they should try to live their lives and do the best that they can as human beings. So
and he wants to use his like knowledge that he acquired to teach people how to properly fight so that they can live on the surface.
Yeah. Is this based off a book? It just gave me that vibe.
It gave me that vibe, but it's not
so hard. Like I was
gave me that vibe where it's like this seems like it was a book, but it's not.
Bruh, it gave me like very much, you know what I thought it was gonna be like? Almost like on some How to Train Your Dragon stuff. Like the book isn't necessarily like this, but it's about like a guide to, because it's like How to Train Your Dragon is like How to Train Your Dragon, and there's like a book full of like different types of dragons. So this one I thought it was going to be similar, as in the book. It's based off a book that has like a guide to monsters or something, you know. I don't know, I just it
was not based on a book, so I was surprised when I saw that.
So spoiler, very well done. I thought it was very well done. But
so that's for the recap. So I guess now we'll just jump right into things we liked and what we didn't like.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Okay, so what I liked about this movie, it was fun, you know. It felt like the type of movie I really would have liked, like if I was younger.
Yeah.
Like if I was a kid, like it's good for all ages, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the monsters were cool. Like it was really interesting because it's like all the like reptiles and like bugs and stuff are now like huge. So it's really interesting to see. Like he's fighting like a frog. Like it's like a giant frog.
Yes.
Or like a giant like worm or whatever, you know. So that was fun. I like the dog. He was so nice.
Yeah, boy.
He was such a good boy. I don't know why. Every time dogs are in movies, it just makes me sad. Even if like nothing happens to them, it's just like they just want to help. Like it just makes me like, okay.
Yeah.
And you know, I love Dylan O'Brien.
Oh, come on.
And yeah, it was just like a fun little movie. You know, it was cute.
Yeah,
it was cute.
Okay. A lot of her stuff is literally gonna align. So my first thing is Dylan O'Brien. Love him. I love his comedic timing. I think he's really good.
His personality is good for that, where it's like you can just sprinkle some comedy into like little things and not make it like seem really forced or like
exactly
crazy, you know?
like
when they kept accusing him of being a food stealer, that was really funny. Like every time he met somebody new, they're like, oh, why did you leave your colony? Are you a food stealer? And he's like, I'm not a food stealer.
He's like, why does everyone ask that? And then he's like, you are a food. I love
that. And at the end when there actually are food stealers, like, so you're the food stealers.
Yes, I love how that actually tied back in. So good.
Yeah,
Dylan O'Brien. I also feel like he's just, obviously it's the nature of the movies he's in. He's always in some like supernatural apocalyptic type of thing. He always brings the realism
Maze
to
Runner,
it.
Teen Wolf,
all that stuff.
He's always like the voice of reason.
Yeah, he's always like, are y'all not freaked out that this like thing just crawled from the ground? And everyone's like, what? Nope. Next.
Yep.
Like, he's totally he's kind of like the Sokka of every movie.
Yeah, that's so true. I haven't watched all the Maze Runner movies. I've only seen the first one, but he still gives off that energy.
He still gives off that vibe. Yeah. Second thing, I loved Minnow, like played by Ariana Greenblatt, who is young Gamora in Infinity War.
Oh, that's so funny. So she's young Gamora, and then the guy who plays Clive or whatever is Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Shut up. No
I
way!
recognized him immediately. I was like, oh, I know that voice.
Oh my gosh.
He speaks exactly like that.
I totally got the young Gamora. I was like, easy. The girl was green in the movie and I could tell the other one.
Well, Yondu was blue in the movie. And I was like, I know that voice. I know it.
Oh my gosh. So they're like, hi, once again. I'm sure they know each other somewhat.
Oh, yeah. So they have some kind of connection there.
Yes.
But no, I really liked her as a character. I liked her because sometimes they make like those kid survivor characters as like super just tough and like they're not scared of anything, blah blah blah. But like she actually had like feelings, which is not, like she actually acted like a kid.
Exactly what I was gonna say. She acted like an actual little girl would. Like it was literally on point. Like I was like, this is how a little girl would act in Apocalypse. She still had like bravery because she's like, I'm used to these monsters, but she's also like, you know, and like the way she reacted to Dylan O'Brien, I was like, yes, like of course if you had a somewhat younger guy being around you, you'd be like, of course I have a crush on him, what do you mean, but I also hate you. Like that's how little girls be acting. So I was like, this is like good writing for a little kid. So
it was like very realistic.
Yes, so I liked her.
Would act.
Another thing I liked was I liked the lesson overall. Like I agree with you, as in like if I was younger, I think I would have loved it because I liked the whole message of like it was like more about family than anything. I don't actually.
It was more like about, you know, because he kind of said like, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. Like he wants to get out of his colony because he's like everyone's so coupled up and blah blah blah. But then he realized like he really saw his colony as like his family. Like they actually really cared about him and stuff. So
and it was so cute when he saw like them writing him good luck. Like he didn't believe in himself and he thought they didn't believe in him too, and which to some extent they didn't, but like
they didn't, but like but they had every reason to though. Like he could have put them in danger.
So for sure. And like he was the youngest one, like 17 when they first got him, so he's like the baby of the group, so it's like totally understandable that they're like, we don't need you out there doing wild stuff, you know. But and I just love the don't settle even now. Like I love that. Like it's so cute.
That's cute.
Like, that you don't, even in Apocalypse, you don't have to settle for like bare minimum stuff, which I feel like is almost like a human experience. Like I feel like humans do strive to like, I honestly think that's like, not to get too philosophical, I feel like that's the difference between us and animals. Like animals survive. We like strive to actually find meaning or do something cool with whatever we have. And yeah, I like you said, it was fun. That was the biggest thing too.
Yeah, it's just like a fun, really cute little movie. Like it's something I would watch like with my family or something, you know, like
yeah, I feel like it would have been a really good it says February, which is weird to me. I definitely would have seen it as a summer flick. I don't get why they wouldn't have.
Maybe because it was like, I feel like one thing, okay, I guess we can this kind of leads into things we don't like. Not that this is something I don't like, but yeah, it's called like Love and Monsters, but it's not really like the relationship is not really that big of a thing. Like there's no like romance really. Yeah, like, I guess the whole point of the movie is that he's trying to get to his ex-girlfriend, but I feel like it's not really about that at all. Like it seemed more like just like as an adventure little
like movie. They could have called it, what's his book, whatever, Guide to Monsters. Like that should have been the name of the that's what I said. Like I swear the name of the book that it's not based off, because it's not based off the book, would have been called that. But that's also in things I didn't like. I actually thought they could have done even less romance. I didn't like the kiss at all. Like I was like, why did you make them kiss? Because like maybe a kiss on the cheek or something to just acknowledge, like, you know, we used to be together.
Yeah, like 10 minutes ago she was like, nah, it's okay, and then like he saved everyone and she's like, oh my god.
Yeah, are you like a post-apocalyptic
like, the romance
gold digger or something? Like you're like, oh, now that he's shown his dominance by, you know, not killing a monster, I'm like into it now. Like no.
Yeah, I felt like that the whole romance aspect was a little bit like kind of like lazy writing. Like I felt like that's not what they wanted to do with it, but they're like, oh, we just realized that his whole purpose is he's going to see his ex-girlfriend, so it's so romantic. But I'm like, yeah, I didn't think it was romantic at all.
No, like I was like, I liked the whole turnaround where he learned like he's going for this reason, but then he learned to like go off on his own and like be, you know, productive. And then like he doesn't get the payoff of the girl, but he gets the payoff of like, you know, going back to his family and hope. That's what I really thought. So I feel like the kiss almost like reversed that. Like I was
like they kind of just threw it in there to be like, yeah.
Like she could have been like, they could have even like, I don't even think they should be together. I don't really like them together. But even if they wanted to hint towards it or something, because I feel like they're hinting towards a sequel, it's like very clear to me. But if they were hinting towards it, they could have just left it open ended, like I'm gonna find you, like that's it, that the whole thing. And then he's like, you better no kiss.
Yeah, that would have been such a good ending.
Ugh, like leave it open ended so that you can let people like them as a couple eventually, if that's what you're trying to do. But like right now, the entire movie has taught me that she's not a reliable person, period. Like that we're not supposed to, basically you've been hinting to me that we shouldn't necessarily root for her. The fact that he's always questioning if he should go with her, I don't know, I just found it was so not it. And the only second other thing that I didn't like, which is kind of goes with the first one, is bruh, I wanted more Minnow and Clive. Like I didn't care about Amy. I needed
more of them.
Oh my gosh, like I was like, I don't know, another like 30 minutes with them at least. Like I needed way more time.
They were very short-lived. I would have liked them to be in it for
longer. I get he needs to learn on his own, but I would have been okay with like one final battle and he does it on his own. Like I don't need him to like, I don't know, I just felt like obviously the moments after that were sweet. Like it's not like I'm saying it was boring. It's just I liked Clive and Minnow so much that I'm like, why? Yeah.
I liked them a lot, so I was like, I wish they were in it for longer.
But and literally when he was leaving, I was like, you dummy, go with them. Like the whole time I was like, don't, Amy ain't it. Like I don't know, but it made sense.
But overall, like I feel like none of those things were really like I wasn't too mad at it.
No,
it just happened, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it would have been nice if there was that, but other than that, I'm chilling.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like this makes the movie bad. It's just like you could have done it without it, please.
Yeah, no, I think overall, like, you know, I liked it. Yeah, it was fun.
I did.
Cute little movie. Like, do I think it's the best thing I've ever seen in my life? Nah, but like,
yeah. But not every movie has to be that. That's what I tell people.
And that's what I was gonna say when I was thinking of what I wanted to talk about. Where it was like, I was sitting there and I was like, I don't know, I can't tell if this is good or not. Like, I'm enjoying it, but then I realized like not every movie has to be like fantastic, like extraordinary. Like sometimes movies are just like a little fun thing to watch.
And do you feel like because of, to almost to go on that, do you feel like because we have so much content given to us, we have like extra pressure on movies now? Because I feel like before, like maybe, I don't want to say before, like really like in the olden days when like the theater was the only way to go, right? Basically. And I don't think people put as much pressure on movies to be amazing because they were just like entertained by the idea that they're going to a movie and seeing a movie, right? But I feel yeah,
you continue finish.
But I feel like now, because we get so much content, we have so many other things to watch, right? We feel like our time is almost valuable in a way, like, bruh, I just wasted this much time when I could have been watching this. So then we need movies to be like exceptional in some way or deep or whatever, versus, because I feel like kids don't need these movies to entertain themselves anymore. That's what I'm saying. Basically, like, back in the day, if you wanted to do something fun with your friends, you would go outside or you could go to the movies. Now it's like, I can do 10,000 different things. So this movie better be it or I'm not having fun. Yeah.
But like, I think the way I see it is like,
yeah.
Oh, well, what do you mean by, like, when you're talking about olden days, like what decades are we talking about? Just so I'm sure what you're talking about.
I guess before, let's say pre-streaming. Like when you go
like, just in general, pre-streaming?
Like, yeah.
Pre-streaming. Okay, yeah. I was going to say, like there was a time period, like, I want to say, like, in the 2010s, like early 2010, like late 2000s, early 2010s, there was a lot of movies that had this kind of vibe where it was just like movies that are just fun, like, you know what I mean, like you said, where you just kind of go to the theater, just have fun. Like, not every movie has to be like Oscar worthy or whatever, right? But now with like streaming, because they just put out so many things, like kind of like what you said, where there's like just so much content where people only want to put their attention towards like the Oscar worthy things, I guess, or just like things like you'll tell someone a movie, like, oh, is this movie good? And be like, oh yeah, like, you know, it was fine, I liked it. Then they're like, oh, okay, never mind, I'm not gonna watch it then. Like, they're not, they won't watch it unless it's like, oh my god, it was amazing, it was so good, it was, you know. So
yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. Like, we kind of are saying the same thing, we're just different times or what the reasons are, but we're saying that like we still think that there is like a pressure for a movie to be amazing, like now.
Yeah, and there's like, you need movies like this where it's just like a little, like, it's fun.
Yeah, it's like fun.
Like, I feel like this movie had good like critical reviews, but I feel like I haven't heard anyone talking about it, which is like, because like it's pretty good, you know.
And it's crazy, which is kind of bad, is like, or sad, is that a movie that sucked though will get a lot of talk. Like, I will hear about how bad Kissing Booth 3 is, you know, but I wouldn't hear a word about Love and Monsters, you know, or like even Malcolm and Marie. Like, I'm like, why did that get talked about so much? Now that I think about it, versus this movie, like, why wouldn't, I don't know, I feel like those would be equally talked about in my opinion. Like why
in terms of how good they are, I feel like for me personally, how I like them like the same amount.
Yeah, like
I think I like Love and Monsters a little bit better because it's more my type of movie.
Like, of course, yeah.
Malcolm Marie is very kind of like, it reminded more of like a play, but like,
yeah. But I'm saying,
like, in terms of how good they are, I feel like similar.
Yeah, or like the type of reaction you would get from a crowd, I would think would be very similar. I don't know. I feel like it might be the marketing too. Like, maybe it had
Yeah, it's probably that.
Like, because to be fair, I wasn't gonna watch it until you talked about it and we saw how good the reviews were, and I was like, okay, now I'll watch it, and I'm glad I
honestly
did.
When I saw the poster, it just looked like the type of movie that was gonna have like super bad reviews. So I'm like, let me just see, because I was like, I hope not, because I like Dylan O'Brien, and I looked up and it had like an 88 or 89 on Rotten Tomatoes. I was like, that's pretty good. So I was like, let me watch. Like, I had it on my list, but it was kind of one of those things I would just watch one day if I needed something to put in the background.
Exactly.
But then I was like, I saw the reviews, I'm like, maybe we should watch it for the podcast, because like, if people are liking it. It got nominated for an Oscar for best visual effects. So like,
for visual effects, nice. No, it makes sense. I mean, I'm that makes sense. It's good for it. I also like that that's not. I'm like all for de-prestiging these like award shows, like like I don't like this whole like
I hate Oscar bait movies and stuff like that.
Stop.
Even though some of them are good, it's like, it just pisses me off sometimes.
Like, just let the people movies. Come on. Like, I just feel like it's like false advertising to me, because listen, if the Oscars was called the Film Institution Award or something, then I would understand these movies that are getting nominated, because it's like you know, like a school is gonna give awards to something that's like magnificent, makes us think, blah blah blah, but Oscars, to me, it should just be about like literally the performance, like, or like the height. I don't know, I just don't think
like that was like kind of when Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture and people were like freaking out. They were like, oh my god, no, it's not even that good, it's a superhero movie. I'm like, first of all, it was really that good.
Yeah.
And second of all, just because it's a superhero movie doesn't mean it can't be amazing. Like, people are so used to those like super prestigious Oscar bait
that's what movies I don't like, bruh. Like,
about I don't know, white people doing white people shit, like finance. Like that one movie, I still don't understand. Like, there was like this one succession of years where like every year there was like 2 or 3 movies that were just like, it's just white people doing white people shit. Like, it's literally just like, oh, these brokerage financial people are having a crisis in their bank or whatever, and then it gets nominated for an Oscar. I'm like, that's so not interesting.
I look at that and I'm like, listen, I don't know if it did, but listen, Pursuit of Happiness, like, that made sense to me. Like, I'm like, there's a broker who was poor, black man obviously, and he rose to the ranks, and it's like really encouraging. Plus, like, Jaden Smith was like 2 and he did like an amazing performance, you know, with his dad.
Well, that's so, like that has an actual story. But I feel like some movies, like, to name a few, like, I haven't watched them, but just I can read the description and know exactly what's gonna happen in them. But first of all, there's all those like mob movies or like gangster, like white gangster movies, and I'm like, okay,
like Godfather,
like, are we tired? Are we not tired of this? And then there's like, just like, it's just a genre movie I just call white men, specifically doing white men things, where it's like The Big Short, or just a bunch of like financial shit, or like
the crisis,
to extent, like, even though I did sort of enjoy The Wolf of Wall Street, but kind of like The Wolf of Wall Street, you know, or like, I don't know, like those type of movies. I don't know, Spotlight. I guess it's like it's an important topic, but also it's like, you know, like, it's just fun.
Like, bruh,
like, how do you say that those movies are better than like the movies that got a lot of hype that everyone loved? Like, how can you say those are better?
Yeah,
you know?
I don't subscribe to that kind of stuff. That's why I don't really, like, I've dissociated myself, at least like trained myself to dissociate the Oscars from my tastes. Like, I'm like, okay, it's not for me, you know? So
well, it definitely was like, it was really weird this year specifically because this is the first year, because last year's Oscar was like right before the pandemic, so this is the first pandemic like Oscars, and nobody, like barely anyone even knew the movies that were like being nominated, because like they didn't get released in theater, so it felt like it was just for the critics, like because not like nobody had ever like seen any of these movies, because a lot of them had just been released on like in, like festivals or stuff like that. Like, none of them got released in theaters, none of them are, like, only a few of them are on Netflix, so it's like everyone's just kind of like, what are these movies? I've never heard of them before.
And it showed, though, like, their viewing was like the lowest in history, which obviously it's a pandemic, but also it's like, bruh, like, if the movies that I don't know, I don't
like,
know
if I'm not
them.
excited, like, I remember I watched last year because I wanted to see if Parasite was gonna win stuff. So it's like nobody was doing that this year because there wasn't anything that exciting, you know?
No, the last one I saw was the La La Land Moonlight one where they missed.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, y'all messy. But anyways, do we want to get into our fun question? I have one. It's not that fun.
We'll do yours, because I honestly couldn't think of a good one.
It's all good. It's not, this one's really short, so it's chill. So Joel made it 7 days on the surface.
Yeah.
How many days could you survive on the surface?
An hour.
Tell us why.
I would last an hour. Or maybe less, because I'm like, I always think about how long I would survive in the apocalypse. I don't know. Like, I would probably just hide in a corner until I can't anymore, and then just be like, well, that's it.
It is what it is. Listen.
It is what it is, because that would scare the shit out of me.
This is the problem. This is what I would make it, I would say longer than an hour. I'm not, okay. But if I had to, like, follow the movie, I wouldn't make it as far as to Clive and Minnow seeing me. Listen, I'm not.
Oh, I would probably fall into a hole like he did, though.
I'm not an animal person. So I would see Boy. I'd be like, what a cute dog. And I would leave Boy. And then I would get killed. Like, I would be like, oh yeah, like, let me use this dog to, like, because, you know, half of the stuff that, like, saved Joel is because Boy, like, detected, you know, like, with his ears, you know, like, dogs have better instincts. Well, he's like, you know, so I would have I don't think I would have made it to the hole, because I would have just died eventually, like, somewhere else.
See, like, I would just be sad when I found Boy, because I'd be like, oh, you're a little dog and you're living by yourself. That's so sad.
I'd be like, yo, this dog made it. I can. Idiot.
I would probably just stay with the dog. Like I would when I find the dog, I'm like, okay, if the dog is safe here, I'm gonna stay here.
Let's be real. Let's be real. Ain't no way I'm going to see some Amy in another camp.
If I'm chilling in that colony or whatever, and all I have to do is just cook. That's so chill. I don't have to go and put my life at risk. Like the question should be whether I would leave in the first place.
Yes, baby. I would be on the radio recounting the couple drama, like for no reason. They would be. I'd be like, so and so. I had a fight yesterday, and I'm just waiting to see how it gets resolved. I would be making The Bachelor for no reason in my colony with Mavis Robot and pot number 3. Like I'm not coming out of the bunker.
And if I go crazy a little bit, that's fine. At least I'm not dead.
Yeah, at least I just know I would stay in, because this pandemic low key showed me how I would be in an apocalypse. And have I left my house?
No.
Only for groceries, okay? But if there's monsters trying to stop me from getting groceries, then I'd be like, well, it's crackers for the rest of my life. That's it. That would be it.
Exactly. Oh I would find all the ways to make some delicious crackers.
Yes. I would invent a boyfriend. Like I would write him on a piece of paper, and I'd be like, wow, like isn't that so sweet he said this to me. I'd write letters to myself. I'd go insane before I do all that stuff.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I would rather just stay in the colony, if I'm being quite honest. If I had to leave, that would be stressful.
Yes. Stressed. All right, guys. We're getting to the
part. So what's your rating? What do you give the movie?
Yeah, that's
I forgot. We were supposed to do that.
Say.
It's been a while.
The letter grade. So I would give it A-. Okay?
Me too.
Oh, nice. I'm going to say why. It was good. It was good. I had fun. It was really good. I'm not kidding you. If they didn't do that kiss, I would have given it an A. Like, I'm not even kidding.
No, I get it. It has deeper implications.
Yes.
I get it.
Because I forgot to say this. I actually cried in this movie. Don't at me.
Wait, is it because of Boy?
No.
Or something else? Because Boy almost made me cry. When he left, when he yelled at him and Boy ran away, I was like, no. And also we never found out why he loves that like red dress so much.
I thought they implied it from the drawing, because there was like a drawing of a little girl up on the bus with the
I didn't see that. Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, when he looked up and he was like,
but I almost cried when that happened. I was like,
yeah,
this is all your fault. You almost got us killed. And then he just like runs away with the dress. It made me so sad. I cried. Dogs make me like sad.
Really sad. Okay, I cried at 2 parts. I'm such a loser. One part I actually cried. The other one I teared up. Part I cried was when Mavis showed him his parents on like the thing.
Oh yeah.
And then like she started playing Stand By Me. I was like,
and then she died.
How you gonna do this?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And he was like, he talked to his parents. Like he's like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen a picture. Like it's just like you don't remember these small things about like post-apocalypse, and you just remember that he's just a kid, honestly. Like that's the part that I was like and
I forgot about that.
And when I oh my gosh, there's 3 parts, I can't lie. Okay. And then I teared up when he called his colony from Amy's thing, and everyone was like, Joel, like you're alive, and he was like, yeah, and he was
like we were seeing it like from his perspective, where he was just like really resentful of them, but then we got to see like that they actually do really care about him.
Yeah, like he's seeing, bruh, I always get really emotional about like teens realizing that their family's not the devil. Like I definitely relate to that. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are ruining my life. And then when they realize that, like, these people actually care about you, I always get emotional at that part. And the last part I got is no surprise, when he's like, don't settle even now, bruh, when he was like talking to all the colonies, and he's like, y'all like finna get up,
and then everyone is like getting up and getting out.
Yes,
there we go.
Hope. Oh my gosh, I loved it, actually. I was really.
Are you sure you don't want to give it an A?
Oh my, so close. Y'all really did that with the kiss.
It's like an A-0.5.
Yes, it's like I really want it. It's like my favorite student that I want to give you the A, but then you just did something silly right before the test. Okay?
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I give it like an A-.
Like,
but if you're just looking for something fun, like not too serious to just put on and enjoy yourself, I recommend it.
I do, and I rate it good stuff for people. Like I don't know. Like we said,
Dylan
we need fun movies.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes,
you're the best.
I love you, Dylan.
All right. So I guess that's the end of our roasting movies by the fire. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we're gonna have some exciting episodes coming up with our. We had some time to rest, sort of, when we were not having exams, and make sure you stay tuned.
Let's just say we give a hint. We can give a hint.
Okay. For what, next week's episode?
Yeah. Well, next week.
Next week. Yeah.
Let's just say Regency era, romance, and literature. And you shall find out what that is. I can't quote it because that's the point. I don't know anything.
We don't know. We don't know yet because we haven't.
We're about to get cultured, y'all. We're about to.
You're about to. This is gonna be a very monumental episode, I think. Yes. For us. So stay tuned. For 2 weeks.
It's a classic we haven't seen. So think about
we're giving big spoilers now.
Whoa.
So it's gonna be a classic we've never seen, and it's gonna be a big one, especially for our channel. You might be shocked that we've never seen it. Yes. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Exactly. All right, guys.
So as usual, make sure you give us a rating. Yes. 5 stars. And you follow us on Instagram at FlickChicksPod. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.